What if I told you that the hottest guy on your block is actually a chimpanzee in disguise? Haichin is the only one who can see people's true forms, and trust me, a lot of them aren't human. One day at the park, he gets surrounded by a group of punks led by this guy, Viper. But when Viper's secret is out, everything changes. He transforms, his arms turning into venomous snakes, and he bites Haichin. Just as he's about to pass out, a tiger spirit sealed inside Haichin awakens and completely demolishes Viper in seconds. The thing is, the enemy gets away, and now the tiger is living with Haichin in human form, even fighting with the cat over food. But the danger is far from over. A new student shows up in his class, and Haichin knows he's not human. Some bullies try to jump him, but he hypnotizes their leader, who totally loses it and starts knocking everybody out. Haichin's friend sees the whole thing and ends up getting hypnotized, too. That night, the new kid gives her a terrible order to step right off the edge of the building. Will Haichin be able to save her, or is the nightmare just beginning? Our story kicks off with a professor explaining a bit about mythology. He explains to us the meaning of war. In the beginning of the world, some humans ate a divine herb. But after eating this herb, one human turned into a bear, and this symbolizes the victorious bear tribe. Meanwhile, the tiger, which failed to become human, symbolizes the defeated tiger tribe. Yeah, I know it's a little confusing, but this mythology is kind of a metaphor. It reflects the idea of totem worship and primitive society. But anyway, today's class is over. Not that it's anything new for our MC, who's still sleeping in the back. Getting closer, someone tries to wake the boy up. Waking up suddenly, he asks what's up. This right here is Sushi, the guy's best friend. She asks if he just came to school to sleep again. Like, doesn't he have a bed at home? The bum. Is he just wasting his time coming to school? Haichin says, here she goes again. Does she only come to school to lecture him? Speaking of lectures, she asks how he's doing, if he's okay. But the guy asks what could have possibly happened to him. He's perfectly fine. She says, no, you dummy. She's talking about his eye. Now the guy understands exactly what she means. He says that lately he hasn't been seeing those things anymore. He even thinks it'll all be over soon. Sushi says that's great. Actually, it's a good sign. Leaving school, our MC went to the corner store. Inside, he takes a look at the cat food. He doesn't want to just grab any old kind, you know? Even if it's for a stray cat, which one would like best? Well, he's not going to be too picky about it. He'll just go with that one right there. Out of the corner of his eye, he hears someone saying the new employee is super hot. Let's just say gorgeous. We see it's Tristan's crushing on the guy. Over at the register, they hand over their purchase. Not to be weird or anything, our MC, on the other hand, tries to get a look at the guy to see if he's really that good looking, you know? And when he sees him, man, the news isn't so great. Let's just say that when he was a kid, instead of a gentle pat from his mom, he got a good walk. No, wait a minute. Is that a monkey? The guy, the handsome clerk, is a monkey. Are you serious? Man, it looks like it because the girls are asking for his number. They want to add him as a friend. The monkey, looking a little uncomfortable, says that unfortunately he can't, it's a bit complicated out of the blue. He gained this special ability that lets him see the non-humans hiding among humans. As he leaves, our MC reflects that he can't even remember when it all started. And although he doesn't know exactly what they are, from what he's observed so far, they are creatures that hide their true form and live among humans. But the good thing is that their existence isn't exactly a threat to the human world. The bad thing is that he comes to this convenience store every day, and having to see that monkey is not a great feeling. But at least there shouldn't be a problem, right? Since he doesn't do anything. At least that's what our MC thought. The monkey noticed his ability. Actually, no. It's even worse. The monkey was right behind our MC. He finds his little cat and even asks him not to stay there, always waiting for him. Our MC kind of feels a little pressured, knowing the cat is there waiting for him. Well, the boy is alone now, wandering the streets. The little kitty was there, eating peacefully. But anyway, now he can come and eat all he wants. Until he felt something a little strange. You guys know, right? Cats are connected to the supernatural. So right then, he gets goosebumps all over. We understand why he's like that. 3 bullies showed up. One even says he was wondering why this darn cat was making noise at night. The noise was so loud that, unfortunately, he couldn't sleep. So apparently, this is the boy's doing. Haichin asks, what do you mean? He's far from the residential area? Whoa, man, that's when he realizes what a mess he's in. Realizing he's in trouble, he immediately apologizes. It really is his fault, but he'll be careful next time. But now, it's time to go, right? He'll be more careful next time, then. The hooded guy tells him to stay put. He says he knows the boy can see them. Our boy is shocked. How does this jerk know that? But screw it, now's not the time to think about that. He's in big trouble, and to try and survive, he's gonna have to run for his life. However, the non-human, a snake-like creature, tells him not to even waste his energy. With that, he bolts, screaming his head off. There's no use running, he won't get very far. From the monster's hand, several snakes shoot out. The creep's arm stretched out and managed to bite our MC. Even though our MC was already a little bit away, with that attack, he can't take it and falls to the ground. Our MC has venom all over his body. It's not like it was just bites, those snakes were venomous. The creature even says that although the venom isn't that strong, it will spread quickly throughout the kid's body. In a few minutes, he won't be around to tell the tale. To get out of this alive, the best thing for him to do now is show his true form. Our MC thinks, what do you mean tiger? What is this jerk talking about? Did he get me mixed up with someone else? No way, that's just too unlucky. I mean, I don't have the best luck in the world, but come on, being mistaken for someone else. Oh man, he even calls our MC a wretched tiger. Whoa, would you look at that? A tiger really does appear in front of him. Our MC is surprised, like, is there a real tiger in front of him? He never thought he'd see a tiger before he passed on. But whatever, he doesn't even like tigers, he likes cats. Our MC might only like cats, but the one who's gonna save his hide is this little tiger. The guy lets out a blast that even the non-humans can feel. The snake creature smiles, saying that it seems the monkey was right after all. No wonder they searched and searched for this scoundrel and couldn't find him. The tiger really did use the ancient sealing technique. He was hidden inside a human's body, but now finally he's been found. Looking at our MC, the tiger apologizes. In the end, he's the one who got the boy into this mess. It's because of him that the child is suffering. However, the tiger asks him to please just hang on a little longer. The snake creature orders his subordinates to advance. He's just gonna go beat up these chumps and be right back. The first one comes forward, saying it doesn't matter that the tiger is strong, he has just awakened. His strength hasn't fully recovered yet, therefore they have a chance. Except, no they don't, because the little tiger turns around, full of rage. Yikes, actually it was worse than that. With just that first punch, he lost like 4 teeth from his mouth. And in a matter of seconds, the first one's face is on the ground. The second one comes in confidently, thinking he's going to accomplish something. But you guys know how it is, right? When a guy's wearing a hood, it means he's good in a fight. The little tiger came in with a kick straight to the jaw. Ouch, that one must have lost another 4 teeth too. Seeing that he doesn't have much of a choice, the snake guy attacks as well. But the tiger apparently doesn't even flinch. The snake creature gets all confident, thinking he landed his attack. He says that although he can't eliminate the tiger, the amount of venom will be enough to stop his limbs. At least that's what he thought. The tiger grabs all the snakes and crushes them with his hand. He says the snake creature shouldn't even call that stuff venom. That's just disgusting saliva. The snake creature wasn't really up for it, but unfortunately he's being pulled in. But come a little closer so we can talk in person. Forget just knocking him down, he took him out of the picture for good. The tiger comes in with his hand ready to slam another one to the ground. With that, all 3 of them were finished off. I mean, at least that's what the tiger believed. The snakes that fell from the snake creature's body started to flee. This makes the tiger a little annoyed, but that's okay. Now he needs to worry about something else. The kid is over there about to pass on to the next world. After some time, we see our MC waking up, but this time, someone is calling out to him. The jerk is still cheeky. He says our MC is already awake, so what's he doing just lying there? Isn't he gonna make some food? Haichin says he's already told him to knock on the door and not just walk in. Besides, he has a name, it's Haichin. The guy says whatever, hi-chan, cat, hi dog, he's hungry. Haichin tries to remember what happened that day. He reflects that he can't even believe this loud guy is the tiger, the person who saved him that day. Yeah, I was caught by surprise too. How is that tough guy from the fight this loudmouth kid? Haichin tells us that a week has passed since the incident. He still doesn't quite understand what happened. After being attacked by the snake, he's simply blacked out. Besides, the story this guy is telling is hard to believe. The tiger asks, what are you thinking about? Aren't you gonna make food? Why are you just standing there? Yeah, so I don't have to keep calling the tiger guy Tiger. All the time, I'm gonna call him T. Haichin says, okay, I'm gonna make it, just wait a little bit. T says that's fine. But looking down a bit, he sees the cat from that day. Yep, it seems our MC adopted the feline. Well, both felines, right? Over in the kitchen, our MC is making a couple of eggs. He asks if T, the real tiger from mythology, ran away from his homeland. Why? Because he didn't like vegetables. T, fighting with the cat over food, says that's nonsense. What kind of crazy story is that? Vegetables are super nutritious. Besides, what's this about mythology? Seeing the scene, our MC asks, what are you doing? Why are you eating the cat's food? T asks what the problem is, the food is good. But anyway, why did he bring this crazy cat with him? All this jerk does is eat. Looks like the cat understood and did not like what it heard one bit. Our MC thinks, no, it's not possible. This is not that hero from mythology. After some time, once he's fed, our MC asks T if he knows the non-humans who attacked him that day. T asks if he's talking about those chumps. Haichin says it seemed like they knew T. Were they the ones who awakened him? T, instead of answering, makes a motion with his hand. Man, and it looks like he rips our MC's clothes. Is he into that kind of thing, maybe? Oh no, thank goodness, he's talking about the pendant. That jade pendant. He asks how our MC got it. Who gave it to him? The boy replies that it was his mother. T asks where she is, but our MC says, well, he doesn't know. Did she go out for a pack of smokes? Standing up, the tiger tells him to keep that jade pendant with him at all times. From now on, a lot of trouble will be coming his way. Our MC gives T a little bonk on the head, suddenly coming out with all this serious talk. Is he going crazy? As long as the tiger doesn't stir up trouble, everything will be fine. The world will stay peaceful. After that, some time passes and our MC is at school. The teacher asks everyone to sit down and also to please welcome the new student. The guys start commenting that it's kind of a letdown. In the end, it's a guy. To make matters worse, he's a small guy. The new student says hello to everyone and says his name is Wong Hu. He even asks everyone to please take care of him. But right then, our MC's ability activates. The boy realizes the new kid is inhuman. After class, outside the room in the hallway, we see the bully Zhang Long's gang. The bully, as always, has to bump into someone to pick a fight. The problem is that the person he bumps into ends up falling on the ground. The cholesterol-filled human asks if the trash doesn't watch where he's going. Oh man, we see the trash. He's talking about Wong Hu, who's actually cracking a little smile. Zhang Long says since the kid is smiling, then let's go have a little chat. And who's noticing this little incident? Outside, Zhang Long says the kid was laughing before, so why isn't he laughing now? However, Young just says that he's really boring. Is that all they know how to do to intimidate others? That's pathetic. The gang took that to heart. They even ask if the kid has gone crazy. To stop the little punk from leaving, Zhang lunges at him. But that's when he comes face to face with the boy's psycho form. He doesn't understand what's happening, his body just stopped moving. To make it worse, his head is filled with voices saying eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. The ones who really don't get it are his crew. Why did he suddenly stop attacking? Anyway, Yang is over there humming calmly. The one who's not doing so well is Zhang. The psycho grabbed a chair and started going after the group. One of his underlings even asked him to stop, but it seemed like he was out of his mind, let's say hallucinating. Well, after a while, there was nothing left to be done. He had already wrecked everyone. The bully fought so hard he's sweating like a pig. Young is very happy with the result, smiling from ear to ear. The one who can't believe what they're seeing is that person who's just crashing the party after seeing that scene. She went straight to our MC. The boy, who's pretty relaxed, asks what the rush is, but she says it was that transfer student, that young guy. Man, that's when the psycho appears out of nowhere and asks what about him. This freaking pasty face dude is like a ghost, my friend. You don't even have to say his name 3 times. Say it once, and he appears. Our MC says he lives near the school, but why? Well, the boy says it's nothing, but can he come over today? Ignoring the girl, he asks Haichin where he lives. Yoon yells, telling Haichin that he has plans at home today. Doesn't he remember? RMC sweating says that's right, huh? He had forgotten. Yoon replies, yeah, right, good thing I remembered. Making their excuses, the two say goodbye and go their separate ways. Young, on the other hand, realized he's been found out. Yeah, and I didn't want to say anything, but you did a pretty good job. But in the process, you put yourself in danger. See you go. The jerk already grabbed her. He asks what the girl's name is. The creep doesn't even hide it. He asks what she's doing, meddling in his business. After a while, the girl is on the phone with our MC, saying she's on a rooftop. She tells him to come as fast as he can because she's about to fall. Of course, she's being controlled by that creep Yong. The jerk is a non-human with hypnotic abilities. He's capable of manipulating the will of others. This scumbag was sent by someone named Yi Chan with the goal of infiltrating and getting close to Chan. Suddenly, 3 men appear, and the one with sunglasses asks what he's doing. Could this be that Yi Chan guy? But anyway, he warns that this isn't the girl they're looking for. Yongyu says the person he's looking for has just arrived. We see he's talking about our MC, who, by the way, is desperate to save his friend. Right on the edge, she says her body isn't obeying her anymore. However, it's all his fault. It's Yongyu. He's the one controlling the girl's body. Haichin tells her to stay still, that he'll try to save her. The henchmen start to wonder how it's possible. The kid's body is so fragile. How did he manage to seal the tiger inside it? The one who gets angry about this, Xiaoyong, said he did all this work for a simple human. He's nothing, he has no power. However, our MC turns around, asking Yong what the heck he thinks he's doing. But the psycho just tells him to shut up. Now it's time to test what this boy is capable of. With his hands, he makes Yong's body keep walking forward. And from there, you already know, my friend. There was nowhere else to step, she fell. But no, it's not possible, she's not gonna go out like that. This is the moment our MC learns to fly, or I don't know, claps his hands and a portal appears, turns into Magneto, my friend. Do something, don't let this girl bite the dust. See, even the henchmen weren't expecting that. The boy screams in despair for his friend. But it's okay, my friend. Just jump and save her. Go on, I know you're gonna unlock a little power, right? Yeah, looks like. No, he didn't unlock any powers. The girl really did hit the pavement. Hard. That scumbag Wong starts laughing because of it. The kid really is a psycho. He feels nothing but amusement in all this, even though our MC is right there in front of him, crying. He turns to the mobster and says he told him so, see? The kid is ordinary, has no power at all, just a regular human. The other henchmen start saying he's crazy. He's getting arrogant just because he has a little resistance. They shouldn't have let him handle this. Young asks if he's hearing them right. Resistance, arrogant. From the beginning, when they asked him to do this, their arrogant attitude already annoyed him. The only reason he actually accepted this job was to see if the opponent was truly powerful. But in the end, the kid is nothing, and now he's the one being judged. Now he's the trash. Our boy, who's listening to everything, calls him a scumbag and charges. But Young activates his ability. Since he's hypnotic, right? Our MC's body freezes on the spot. To make things worse, the kid is then called insignificant trash. The mobster grabs Young's hand, telling him to stop. He can't hurt that boy. But Young is out of his mind. He says if the mobster doesn't want to get taken out, he'd better not meddle in his affairs. Of course, the mobster doesn't like that one bit and starts to get violent. However, the psycho has already activated his power. Now, let's just say the mobster is under his control. With just a wave of Yong's hands, the jerk starts grabbing his own head. After that, you already know, right? He gave himself a self-shutdown. But this shutdown wasn't at the power source, it was straight to the motherboard. The henchmen start calling Young a scumbag, asking if he's gone insane. But he couldn't care less, my friend. Now he's saying it's our MC's turn. Unable to control himself, the kid ends up grabbing his own neck. After a short while, he can no longer breathe. That's when something interesting happens. Young is over there telling our MC to obey and it'll all be over soon. But if we look closely, something is coming out of the old guy's body. This wave of magic passes through Young, and he doesn't even understand what's happening. The weirdest part is that this magical power starts to enter our MC's body. The henchmen start to comment, is the boy actually absorbing energy? But, like, how is he doing that? What's worse is that now his energy is colossal. Our boy reflects that now his body has a strength that's just pouring out. Yin says that his ability is actually getting interesting now. But now it doesn't matter how much he struggles. In the end, he's in a dead end. At least, that's what Young thought. Out of nowhere, our MC managed to break his hypnosis magic. And now he's enveloping the kid with his shadows. Falling Young thinks, how is this possible? I was surpassed. Are you serious? Haichin yanks him off the ground, asking why he hurt Sussy. That's unforgivable, my friend. But the psycho says, unforgivable. You really think you've already won? In the end, he lost too. The boy had to watch his friend fall, couldn't do a thing. Unable to control himself, our MC lands a huge punch on Yang. Yang, poor guy, doesn't even understand how our MC is so strong. With one punch, he smacks him into the wall. But okay, right? One punch is nothing. He survived. I mean, never mind, because here comes our boy to deliver another punch. And it lands right on the nose. And to make it worse, the wall that had withstood the first impact doesn't hold up to the second. There they go, Human and Yang. In his last seconds, the boy realizes there's no escape from that fall. With that, another one hits the pavement. Our MC watches the fall from above with a front row seat. But that's when something strange starts to happen again. Ryan's magic also starts to be absorbed. Haichin thinks, no, it can't be. What the heck is this? He starts to run. Why does this wretch magic want to enter his body? Too bad there's no escaping, right? Little MC. The magic starts to enter his body, but it seems to leave the boy breathless. Unable to breathe, he simply collapses on the ground. The two henchmen are still there, right? They didn't just suddenly disappear. They were wondering how our MC did that, absorbing even that crazy guy. To make his situation worse, man, another person arrives on the scene. Our great friend T has finally shown up. Took him a little while, but at least he appeared. The henchmen are no fools, they started to run. However, seeing our MC's condition, T doesn't like what happened very much. So he goes after the henchmen. He says he's only gonna ask one question, and they'd better have an answer quickly. He charges, grabbing the first one, and asks, what the heck did you guys do? And also, what are you? The henchman says he's not opening his mouth. So T doesn't waste any time and just smacks him on the ground too. Yeah, unlike the last one, at least this guy left with his teeth in his mouth. When T starts heading towards the second one, he starts talking, saying he was just doing his job. Someone paid them to follow the boy, that's all. T asks who the person was, but the henchman says he can't say. The tiger says, alright then, let's see if you can fly. Real quick, the henchman changes his mind and asks him to wait a moment. T says he'd better talk fast or he's letting go. The henchman says it was the Yak Gang, they were the ones who hired them. Oh, and just to correct myself real quick, the Yak Gang is the same Yak Gang I was talking about before. I just translated it wrong, my bad, forgive me. Speaking of the Yak Gang, we're taken to their base. Let's just say it's a very open base. It's a pretty liberal club that anyone can get into. And by the way, it's becoming quite famous. A woman says the atmosphere is great, the crowd is loving it. The man in the suit says yes, they hired a new DJ. This is the one they call Little Fox. He's a new rising star. The woman doesn't quite get the whole Little Fox thing because the guy is a man, but he explains that his name is Jiang Xiaohu. In this case, Little Fox Jian. So everyone calls him Little Fox. We see that this woman who is asking is Yeka herself, who I'm not so sure is a woman, man. Her mustache is bigger than mine, you know. But yeah, that's the gang leader. Leaving the club area, she calls all her security guards. That's when we're taken to a hallway. She asks if all the guests have arrived, and the subordinate confirms they have. Entering the room, we see it's full of gang bosses. Another thing we notice is Little Fox, trying to play the infiltrator. He wants to overhear the boss's plan. Little Fox doesn't just have Fox in his nickname. He's actually a non-human, but he's disguised as a DJ. He even activates his fox ears to hear better. Inside, Yek says that despite the setbacks, they found him. She believes she'll be able to bring him here very soon. One of the bosses asks if she can really handle it, but she replies that it'll be no problem. In fact, it makes things even easier. The bosses don't quite get it, so she explains. They've confirmed the boy's whereabouts, but it seems he still doesn't know how to break the tiger's seal. However, thanks to those idiots, they managed to do it effortlessly. One of the bosses says he heard the tiger was the strongest non-human in history. So is she really sure she can handle him alone? Finding it funny, Yak smiles. One of the bosses asks why she's smiling, but the woman apologizes. She explains that, as he said, he was the strongest in history. That's in the past now. Yeah guys, now Yekai is starting to have more feminine features. Let's just say you can actually tell she's a woman now. Opening the door, a security guard calls for the boss. Yek immediately asks what happened. The subordinate says that DJ was there, snooping behind the door. Little Fox says no man, he was just looking for the bathroom. But as soon as Yek sees him, the two lock eyes. The woman seems to have identified his power. She immediately starts to activate her ability, asking who he really is, but Little Fox just says he's been found out. Right after that, the boy gets a shock. The woman is coming at him full force. She grabs him by the collar and asks once more who the heck he is. But she doesn't even let Little Fox answer, just slams him against the wall. Why did the darn woman ask the question if she wasn't going to let him answer? Whoa, funny because Little Fox says she's actually pretty strong, but he didn't build up that physique for nothing either. Little Fox has a knack for getting on the woman's nerves, so he takes another kick to the face. This time he even went through the wall. But again, he comes out all calm and taunting. He says, "Sis is powerful, but does she really want to play?" The crazy guy takes off running to see if the woman will follow. She orders all the security guards to go after him. And that's when my friend, the whole mob comes at him. Let's just say the fight is going to be 1 against, well, 1, 6, a whole lot of them. But Little Fox, well, he's a bit crazy, you know? He saw a window there and says he's going to jump right through it. He's crazy. You can already tell this guy is crazy. He didn't care about the height or anything like that. He just jumped. Even the security guards are impressed, thinking he's a maniac. But that's because Little Fox has powers, so he can land just fine. He even looks back to check if anyone followed. Oh man, they really did follow him. He almost took a punch from Yekha, and the woman doesn't stop. Here she comes with another kick. Since she missed the first one, she comes right back with the second. But the kid is good at dodging, as he lands on the ground. He tells her that now it's his turn. The boy starts to activate his magic fire ability, and he starts launching fire blades with fire rocks. With fireballs, he launched everything with fire. This catches Yeka a little off guard, but even so, she withstands the full impact head on. Little Fox realizes he hit her square in a vital spot, but even then, the woman didn't even budge. Yeki recognizes those flames. This Little Fox isn't Little Fox at all, he's the nine-tailed fox. In the background, we see a black van. In it, someone asks for a report, and this little guy says the incident is happening near the nightclub. Turning back inside the car, he asks his boss if they should act now. This here is Kai Miki, the head of the National Security Agency group. She says, maybe so, we should drop by and say hi. In the next scene, we kind of see our MC dreaming. Apparently so, he remembers his friend crying before she fell, but that's when he shoots up. But he doesn't understand what's happening either. Why is he at home? T tells him to go back to sleep. It's still too early. Our MC asks if he was the one who brought him home, and T replies, yes, of course, right? Who else would? Haichin asks about Yonghyu and those people. In the end, what kind of beings were they? Actually, since he was little, he's been able to see some things he shouldn't see. But his mother always said they were all nice and friends of humanity. She said he didn't need to be afraid. T asks if his mother really said that. But our MC says there's the snake creature and there's Yonghyu, not to mention those 3 crazy guys from the gang. T knows, doesn't he? He knows who those people are. Why are they after him? The tiger asks again where MC's mom is. Well, our MC says that unfortunately she passed away. T asks what the woman said when she gave him that jade pendant. Haichin comments that she had said the amulet was for his safety, and that the boy should always wear it. T says, alright, then it seems he'll have to pay our MC's mother a visit. The kid freaks out. Like, what do you mean? What is he saying? Too bad the scene cuts away from them. We go back to Yek and the 9-tailed fox. Yek comments that she didn't expect the fox to be so handsome. Little Fox says, oh, I'm flattered. But for those wondering why they aren't beating each other up, just look around. Everyone is watching what's happening, including seeing the fox's flames. Some people are even filming. The fox looks behind Yek, startled. But when she turns to look, he's already bolted. The sly devil, he tricked Yeka with the oldest trick in the book. Yek thinks that this jerk is very cunning, and a huge scoundrel too. She's not one to be left behind either. She almost breaks the mail truck, but then jumps up onto the building. But guess who was waiting for her there? Little Fox was already in his fighting stance, just waiting for her to show up. He gives the woman a slash of fire, and that's when you think, this is the end for her? The darn woman couldn't dodge, man. Now she comes back with a smile on her face to land a punch on Little Fox's face. The boy kind of wasn't expecting that, right? He also didn't expect her to be so fast. But the woman pulls her arm way back to get maximum momentum, then lands a huge punch on the fox. The fox realizes this woman's power level is extremely high. To make it worse, she doesn't stop. She comes right back trying to pin him down. But But the fox is faster, son. He jumps back. I mean, he's not that fast. The woman is coming to land a punch on him in mid-air. The worst part is that she connects, and this one was a solid hit, because wow, what a punch. Down at the bottom of the building, Kaimeki asks her subordinates for help in dispersing the crowd. Since she's not blind, she's seeing everything that's happening up there. I mean, at least part of it, right? She saw that darn beam of light very clearly. Back up top, we see little fox groaning in pain. He tells Yak that one was really strong. His head is starting to ring. Yak says he wasn't bad at all. The boy is the second person to take a punch from her and stay alive. I mean, a full force punch. The nine-tailed fox is a little disappointed by this. Why wasn't he the first? Who is this first person? He wants to meet them now? Whoa, the woman starts to go into beast mode. She says the fox isn't even worthy of touching that person's shoes. To not be left behind and get beat up again, the fox starts to activate his flames. Yeki realizes he's up to his old tricks again. But that's when she sees he's not playing any tricks. In fact, the jerk is flying. The fox smiles. He knows she won't be able to catch him up there. Using almost his maximum firepower, he attacks again. And this time, Yak doesn't have many places to escape. She just takes that whole blast of fire. But the good thing is she still managed to stay alive. Seeing that she's finished, little fox descends from above. The woman asks how long he's been on Earth. He must have awakened a long time ago. The fox says he doesn't really remember. He never stopped to count. Yak asks what his goal is. After all, what does he want? The fox says he'd also like to ask her boss. What is his ultimate goal? What is his purpose? Yak just clenches her fists. Smiling, she says, "Alright then." Whoa. But that's when Kaimeki interrupts, telling everyone to put their hands up. If they move, she'll shoot. Little fox immediately raises his hands, even though a bullet won't do much to him, right? Yak, understanding everything, asks if he works for them. Of course, the fox says no. Does he look like a chump? Yak says that next time, she will definitely defeat the fox. Kaimeki orders her subordinates to get them both. However, they won't be able to. Yak jumps off the building, landing in the middle of the crowd as if no one would notice. Kaimeki says that's definitely not something a human would do, so what the heck is she? Whoa, the fox appears, asking if she really wants to know. Immediately, everyone points their weapons at him. However, he says it's alright, they can arrest him. What is this fox up to? What does he want? A few hours pass and the investigator comments that the suspect's name is Jiang Xiaohu, born on October 4th, 1971. The investigator questions the whole 1971 thing. What do you mean he's over 50 years old? His face doesn't even look 20. Kaimeki asks if it's not obvious. His identity is fake, right? But anyway, he can continue reading. The fox says if they're going to record, they should do it right. Hold on, he'll turn to his left side, which is his best side. Kaimeki tells him to stop fooling around. Why did he start fighting with Du Yi? Did they already know each other? The fox asks if that's really what she wants to ask. Didn't she see the flames being shot and the woman jumping 5 stories? Isn't she curious to know anything about that? Kaimeki says she certainly is. However, she imagines the man needs them, otherwise he wouldn't have surrendered so easily. The fox says the team leader's reputation is well deserved. Kai asks Zhang Shou what his true identity is. He suddenly raises his hand and ends up turning on the spotlights. The Sly Devil says he's Magnificent Self, the legendary tailed fox. Breaking his handcuffs, he says that the beings living in this world aren't just humans. As soon as he breaks the cuffs, Kai pulls out her big gun. But then the scene suddenly changes to some kind of slum. There we see a little homeless guy being surrounded. The bullies inform him there's no problem with him moving. The whole problem is him doing it without saying anything. It's disrespectful to them, don't you think? But anyway, has he set aside the money yet? Whoa, at that moment someone else arrives on the scene. The old guy points behind them, telling the bullies to look. A very stylish dude in a green overcoat has arrived. Can we say an overcoat is a cape? If we can, we know this guy is also good in a fight. Well, the big guy asks who he is. If this psycho thinking he's Batman has seen enough, he can scram. But that's when the big guy starts laughing. What did he pull out? A bat. Is he a security guard now? A friendly neighborhood hero? But if he wants to fight, then fine. He should just come at him? Let's see if he's really that good. Man, I don't know about good, but with that scar on his eye, he's pretty intimidating. The big guy starts laughing, noticing the man is shaking all over. But what he didn't see was the club coming. My friend talk about a well-placed hit, even weighing around 200 kilos. His buddy went flying like a piece of paper. The dude who looks a lot like the tiger tells everyone to scram or they'll be next. Tell me, doesn't he look like the tiger? Must be a relative? Has to be. Anyway, back to the investigation. Our fox is already in chains and everyone is calmer. Kai asks, so he's saying he's the legendary 9-tailed fox. That's really something hard to believe, don't you think? The fox says that in myths and legends, humans create these divine beings. But in reality, they are all non-humans who entered Earth from another dimension. The subordinate asks if it's like Superman, but the fox replies that it's almost like that, more or less, something along those lines. Non-humans with strength and courage become gods of war, and non-humans with unparalleled beauty become goddesses of beauty. Although they came from different times and places, they have lived among humans for many, many years. Kaimeki says alright, she'll believe that for now. She says he probably already knows, so she'll be direct. They are both part of the temporary investigation team of the National Security Agency. It was formed to monitor the Yak Gang. The subordinate hears all this and doesn't like that his boss did that. Kaimiki says the leader of this gang is Duye. They've already realized that she is definitely not an ordinary human. The fox says she guessed right. She's also a non-human who came from another dimension. So, how strong is she? Like, if I had shot at that moment earlier, what would have happened? Breaking the handcuffs, the fox smiles, saying she probably would have caught the bullet with her hand. Of course, if it were him, he would have chosen to dodge, but not her. Kai isn't stupid. She immediately pulls her gun and says she understands. But why did he take off the cuffs, huh? Cuffed again, the fox says he forgot. Duye is not her real name. Her name is Yek. Yep, just like the name of the gang. Speak of the devil. The butler tells his master that Lady Yekai is requesting an audience. Face to face with her master, the woman bows. Very gently, he asks if she would like a drink. But since she doesn't accept, he asks what happened with the commotion at the nightclub. Man, I didn't want to say anything, but this guy looks like our MC, huh? I already said the other one looked like the tiger. Now this one looks like our MC. But anyway, she says it was nothing. Nothing he needs to worry about. The master says that it seems she got hurt quite a bit. Let's just say the job was tough. Yek asks if the master isn't going to ask about that guy. But the man says no, just let the guy go. No one will believe what he says. Soon the government should take some action. He imagines that must be the guy's initial goal. Yek says that mere humans are no match for them. But the master, who is smarter, says they can't go around taking out humans. In the end, if they do that, who will they rule over? He knows an interesting friend to handle a matter. The girl should go find him. She asks if this person is also a non-human, and the master replies yes. This guy will be in charge of bringing that boy. But she will hide for a while. Leaving, the woman says she understands. She'll lay low. After that, we see someone talking to Lord Long, that he truly has that woman's loyalty. Jailong says she is his right and left hand, his strongest shield. The unknown man says he understands now. The master says he'll introduce the girl at some point. Sooner or later, she'll need to be more aware of this matter. The unknown man says alright, he'll be waiting. Back in that well-organized little slum, we see a bunch of people insulting each other. A beatdown is probably about to go down. There, I said something good was about to happen. No, never mind, forget what I said. What's about to happen is a thrashing. Look who they're messing with. The smoking homeless guy. This won't end well. We see that the guys with him are the chubby ones who got beat up. The three little pigs, you know. But this time they brought the whole pigsty. The homeless guy says there are a lot of them this time, huh? So he's not gonna hold back. He comes in full force, taking out the first one. It's funny how the people in this story like to aim for the face, right? If you open a dental clinic in this story, my friend, you'd get rich. Cause man, do these people lose a lot of teeth. The brothers say they're going in, but that's when the homeless guy starts to imbue his club. And man, he lands a hit that takes out 10 of them at once. This little gang, my friend, gets beaten up like little kids. They haven't been beaten this much, even by their mothers. But one of the brothers didn't just stand there. He saw the chump had his back turned and came at him with a little knife. No, wait a minute, the impossible happened. The knife broke. The big guy even asks if this jerk is a ghost. To his bad luck, the homeless guy doesn't think twice. He comes right in with an elbow to the face. The chubby guy thought, okay, fine, I got hit, now it's gonna stop. But the bully wanted to put an end to this story. Seeing his face, the big guy says he's a monster. There's no need to hit me anymore. I give up. But unfortunately, the homeless guy wasn't in the mood for talk. Sometime later, someone tells him that his performance wasn't bad at all. It's actually quite impressive. We see it's Yek. The smoker asks if the woman is one of their kind. If so, she can come at him without fear, my friend. Preferably all at once. Yek tells him to calm down, he can lower the club. She didn't come there to fight. Too bad we don't see the continuation of this. In fact, the scene jumps to 2 days later. Finally, we get back to our boy. Because he's over there, deep in thought. He's remembering what happened before. That talk T had about visiting his mother. At the time, he didn't really know what to say. Of course, the shock was immense. At least T had explained that about 5,000 years ago, he was sealed in that jade pendant. No, to be more precise, he chose to lock himself inside. He was in a darkness where he couldn't even see his own fingers and spent long, confusing years there. He needs to find out what happened during all that time and also needs to understand how the jade pendant ended up in our MC's hands. Otherwise, he won't be able to love this world. Our MC doesn't really get this whole loving the world thing, you know. From what he's seeing, the boy is loving it a little too much. He's already eaten like 5 bags of cookies, but okay, right? He's not loving it, no. After that, no matter how hard he tries, he can't summon that strength. Is he really human? Haichin asks if he can ask a question. When he was fighting with Yang Hu, where did that strength that poured out of his body come from? T says he's obviously human, but he's definitely not an ordinary human. This power might be related to the jade pendant. Our MC asks if he could be a non-human just like T, but T says no, definitely not. The kid is too weak to be a non-human. He'd have to be the weakest non-human he's ever met. The darn guy can't even open a bag of chips. Already annoyed by this, T rips the bag open and even says that non-humans recognize each other. He can sense the non-humans that are near him. For example, he's sensing a non-human on that train right now. Look at that sly devil over there by the door. Oh man, I recognize those boots. Seeing the man, T immediately prepares for battle. The tiger tells Haichin to get ready to get off. And really, we can say it's going to be a battle. But Haichin asks if he's crazy. That's a moving train, my friend. You can't just jump out. But T couldn't care less. He tells the boy to hurry up. Knowing they don't have much of a choice, our smoker just smiles. T reflects that leaving Haichin there will only get in his way during the fight. With that, he follows the motto of the 36 stratagems. Fleeing is the best option. I still don't understand how, but he managed to jump from the train. Our MC, who is totally freaked out by all this, right? The boy thought at least he was safe, until he looked up. The darn smoker was coming in hot. Luckily, T managed to dodge in time. The boy asks the homeless man if he's one of the Yak Gang's watchdogs. Since the smoker didn't say anything, T charged at him. He lands a punch to see if the smoker's lungs are in good shape. Then he comes in with a heavy left, sending our homeless guy flying. The homeless man takes a better look at T. Seeing that he doesn't recognize him, he says, well, a new face. The tiger says he really has good perception. Indeed, it hasn't been long since he was born. Technically, he should still be a baby. The smoker says, then hold this newborn gift. T is shocked not by the power, but because it was heading towards our MC. The only way to stop it is to get in front of it. But that left him wide open, just what the smoker wanted. He takes the opportunity to land a huge punch on the tiger. Let's just say the tables have turned. Now the opponent is the one landing hits. Here he comes with both feet to the face. The tiger is furious with the smoker. He dares to attack a defenseless guy. Isn't he ashamed of himself? The homeless man says maybe the real target is the boy. Did that not cross his mind? No, it didn't. Leaving those two aside, we go to a mansion. There we see someone relaxing, saying the weather is lovely. The subordinate asks his bosses if he can ask a question. That homeless man they saw yesterday, what's his real identity? Yak asks Fred if he grew up abroad, right? Did his parents ever tell him mythological stories about the country? Fred replies a little. They talked about demons, monsters, or something like that. Yak says that's exactly it. That guy has appeared in mythological stories. He always shows up suddenly, beats everyone up. Whoa, man, she stands up and shows us that she is indeed a woman. Look. Anyway, she says the homeless man is the unicorn king. Yep, a freaking unicorn king. Who, by the way, is coming at T with everything he's got. T even admits his opponent has a lot of strength. But apparently it's not enough to defeat him. T says the king is a real pain in the neck. But unfortunately, this battle will have to end here. He's going to start fighting seriously. The Unicorn King immediately feels the pressure, man. The tiger attacked with his cloud slash. But thank goodness his weapon was in front. But also, if it hadn't hit the weapon, the unicorn would be missing an eye. T doesn't stop, he turns and attacks again. This time the king didn't just stand there, he even attacked, but T disappeared. When the kid reappears, he's on the ceiling. The unicorn feels the pressure, but doesn't give up. He went to attack the tiger on the ceiling, but the jerk had already come down. Unfortunately for him, he is now completely exposed. Literally, the enemy is at his back, if you know what I mean. The tiger says he highly doubts he'll withstand this next attack. He comes in full force with his fire slash. But this time, really, the Unicorn King can't dodge. The blow lands right in the middle of his stomach. Seeing that victory is assured, T even poses for a picture. Yeah, well, he's just a little crazy like that, out of his mind. Since he doesn't see a light coming towards him, our MC even tries to warn him. But it's too late. The boy was dragged away with force. There I go again. The train driver gets a shock with that ugly thing on his windshield. But the worst part is that now our MC is alone and completely defenseless. The Unicorn King even thinks, well, now this is too easy, isn't it? He just approaches the kid and tells him to come along, or it's certain doom. So what's he going to do? The decision is all his. Hearing this leaves the boy very scared. But we go back in time when the unicorn was receiving the mission. He says, in other words, Yak wants him to capture a student. She says, yes, that's right. But looking around, she gets a little uncomfortable. There are too many gossips at the windows watching them. But whatever, screw it. Even though there are a lot of gossips, it's not going to change much in her life. The unicorn asks if the boy is also a non-human, but Yak says no, he's not. But there's a catch. There's a very strong guy protecting the boy, so it won't be that easy to capture him. What she forgot to mention is that this boy, in a way, is a more dangerous existence than the tiger. Even though his appearance seems fragile and pathetic, how could he imagine this boy could be dangerous? Back in the present, we see the Unicorn King has grabbed the boy. Unfortunately, our MC can't do much against him, but just to test something. Just to see if the boy is really dangerous. The king slaps him across the face. Our MC immediately starts spitting blood. The king asks what kind of hidden power he has. Since our MC has no power, I mean he does, but it doesn't come out all the time. The only option left is to go low and start biting. It's a shame that against the unicorn, it's useless. So he throws the boy away. Hey buddy, take it easy, that's a human. You know, that one doesn't have powers, my friend. If he falls and gets hurt, it's over. And I need an MC to make this story happen, you know. Taking the opportunity of being thrown far, our MC starts running. Too bad it doesn't do much good, because clearly the Unicorn King is much faster. In a matter of seconds, he's right next to our MC and lands a punch in his stomach. The kid immediately falls to the ground, and the unicorn says he has quite a bit of stamina, but he doesn't have much time to play around. Our MC might have to take a little nap outside the tunnel. We see T arriving for the rescue. He's hoping our MC is okay, right? But I find that hard to believe. In the next scene, we see Heechin being dragged along the train tracks. The boy is there crying, asking why the guy is doing this to him. What did he ever do to them? Why couldn't they just leave him alone? What did he do wrong? Oh man, I think he struck an emotional chord with the boy, and now he's starting to change. The freaking smoker king realizes something is wrong. Our boy isn't himself. But what the heck is this? Oh man, the kid broke free and it looks like he's channeling a samurai. While running desperately, T feels a strange energy. He tries to identify this aura, even wonders if it's a non-human, but immediately realizes no, it's not. It's different. Could it be Heichin? Yep, my tiger friend. Unfortunately, I have to confirm it for you. It is him, and now he's wrecking the unicorn. The guy doesn't really understand what's happening, and apparently, it seems our MC is using Yang, whose power. Even his psycho face looks similar. The boy starts to move his hand, and the king starts to break apart completely. He even tries to resist the boy with his other hand, but unfortunately it doesn't solve much. The Unicorn King's despair is so great that he even starts to remember the past. He came to this world to seek redemption. You know, those people who lost their health, or those whose souls were wounded. He always secretly helped all these people, but has his redemption finally come to an end? Well, apparently not. He wakes up from our MC's hypnosis, but he also comes face to face with a train. In desperation, he manages to jump and escape his doom. But he knows that was a close call. But why was he there? He doesn't even remember how he ended up right in the middle of the tracks. To make his situation worse, the tiger guy has arrived. He gets a little desperate because he just escaped 2 near-death situations. But seeing the situation, we can say he has the tiger to thank. He's only still alive because T knocked the kid out. The tiger asks if the Unicorn King is tired of living. Did he really dare to hurt a child, especially his child? Too bad we didn't see the result. The scene is taken to the hallway of a laboratory. There we see Yak and Jailong getting a little closer to the complex. They are greeted by a scientist. Jailong comments that from her happy face, the experiment's result was great. The scientist asks if it's that obvious. She introduces herself to Yak as Where. She even says it's an honor to meet her. Yak says it's not possible. Where? The famous doctor. It's hard to believe that's her true form. And really, this so-called doctor, actually I think it's a female doctor. It's still not clear what exactly it is. Entering the testing area, Hyur says that experiment took a lot of work. First, they had to go to the crime scene to collect that boy's DNA. They transplanted the collected DNA into the body of a test subject to see if there would be any reaction or even rejection. Jailong asks what the result was. Hyur says it exceeded her expectations. If he wants, he can go take a look himself. Through observations, it was noticeable that the strength, endurance, explosive power, and regenerative capacity of the test subject's body are body functions that underwent impressive changes. Jailong says it's truly enviable. Yes, Hyur says, but there's still a problem. Over time, the test subject's bodily functions and absorption capacity begin to decrease drastically. About 24 hours later, she slowly returned to her previous state. To completely extract the special component that is always produced in the boy's body, Jailong says he'll have to bring the boy there. Hyur says that's it exactly. Jailong asks what the test subject's condition is now. Hyur replies that due to the unsuccessful transplant, the test subject is in extremely unstable state. Jailong says alright, but to wake him up first, he wants to greet his old acquaintance. However, doesn't he find this impressive? She means, how can a simple human possess so much power? Over 2,000 years, she has conducted countless studies, but this is the first time she's seen anything like it. It's almost a joke told by the gods. Jailong says yes, perhaps. Or maybe it's a warning from the gods themselves. Speaking of warnings, the test subject wakes up. Jailong says, long time no see, my friend. But apparently the test subject doesn't like him one bit. He starts cussing the guy out. Jailong says it's disappointing. He's still the same, always rude. Man, I don't know about rude, but the creature is stronger because he managed to break the glass. The doctor gets a shock and starts to get scared, but Jailong couldn't care less. The test subject starts calling Jailong a scumbag and even asks if he thinks he's a god. But the test subject's mistake was thinking Jailong was alone. Yak charges, landing a kick, and sends the guy flying through the other side of the wall. She says if he thinks he's so tough, he can come at her. The test subject, full of hatred, doesn't back down. But Jailong says it's regrettable. Their existence so far is destined to face the infinite void. He is only seeking answers. But that's okay. If he really doesn't understand, then fine. Yeki realizes her boss is about to use his power. Clearly, she's not going to stay in the line of fire. The test subject takes a gigantic electric shock and immediately gets fried. Looks just like my toast, oh so crispy, so crispy. Jailong starts to walk forward, approaching the body. He says he is clearly not a god, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want to challenge the gods. Look at how many test subjects the guy has. Leaving that scene behind, we see a small boat lost in the middle of the ocean. Just by seeing that bag of cookies, you can already guess who it is. There's T fighting with the seagulls for his food. He says unfortunately he can't share, there are too many of them, he'll go hungry. But pooping on his face was a low blow. Now it's better if she gives a good explanation, or she'll meet her end. I mean, at least that's what he was trying to do, right? But he can't reach any of them. The seagull comes back and, just out of spite, gives him a little peck on the head. And since he was at the edge of the boat, he loses his balance and falls into the water. Ah, what a klutz. Our MC doesn't really care much, in fact. He's worried about something else. He's thinking about what happened before. When Yak got up, he asked T why he let the man go. In the end, he was dangerous. The tiger says if he had to give a reason, it would be because he is someone who has a place to return to. And worse, people need him. We see the unicorn arriving at his little slum, but all broken. Yeah, he's broken, but he won't let go of that cigarette in his mouth, will he? Anyway, the residents see him arriving all beaten up. Since he always protects the residents from bullies, everyone runs to his aid. Back at the laboratory, we see Yak receiving a call. She tells Master Jilong that the operation with Unicorn King unfortunately failed. Why doesn't he send her instead of the king? She will surely be much more efficient. Jilong says no, it won't be necessary. He will do it himself. Yak asks if he's being serious. However, Jilong says that things have finally gotten a little interesting. For thousands of years, he has watched the vast changes on this land. With that, his heart became still, motionless like water. But at this moment, he finally feels a stir. He had even forgotten that his heart still beat. Finally! Leaving those two crazies aside, we return to our MC's little boat. The boatman is asking if the two young men are really going to stay on that island. It's deserted, are they sure they don't prefer to go back? Apparently, the two ignored the boatman. They stayed there anyway. Ichin says the island's name is White Flower Island. Until he was 7 years old, he lived there with his mother. But his memories are a bit fuzzy. The place looks a little different than before. The tiger says, "Alright, enough with the chatter. Why are you just standing there? Today you're going to be the guide." He announces that he doesn't remember how to get to the place. Ichin says no. "Hold on, my friend. This is his homeland. You can trust that it will work out." Walking, our MC already thinks it's strange. The place seems a bit unfamiliar, although he doesn't remember clearly. The flower island in his memory certainly wasn't like this. T is already behind him, very suspicious, realizing our MC doesn't even know where he's going. The boy starts to think, what the heck is going on? He can't remember anything, but by a divine miracle, he finds a familiar path. Crossing that little path there, he'll be able to see his house. When he was a child, while playing with his friends, he could hear his mother from there. And as soon as he heard her, he would follow that exact path. Getting closer, our MC finds it strange. What is that? Why is my house like this? T also takes a look around, finds a very suspicious tree. It even looks like it was burned, but definitely not. It was destroyed by a very large explosion. This is definitely the work of a non-human. Besides, there are some strange writings back there too. It says White Flower, Maiden, and Celestial. Yeah, some confusing words, but it's still written there. To clear up his doubts, T asks Yichin what his mother did. Ah, my friend, that explains it. He says his mother was a respected shaman. She was even well known in the region. T says alright, but then why is his house in ruins? Ichin says he doesn't know much. After his mother passed away, some strange rumors started to spread. They said his mother revealed a celestial secret, and because of that, she started to suffer divine punishment. The tiger says he understands, but how did she pass on? Ichin says that's exactly it. He finds it strange too. No matter how hard he tries, he can't remember anything. He can only remember that his mother's health was always a bit fragile. That's when he finally remembers something. What a coincidence. At first, he doesn't understand how he can have such memories. But the more he thinks, the more his head hurts. He remembers seeing a person, he just can't remember who. The T tells him to let it go. It's better to forget about it for now. But that's when he looks back and tells someone to come out from behind the tree. How long does person intend to keep following them? The man says not bad, he's quite skilled. So, it seems the boy managed to spot him. T says that with his presence, it would be a bit difficult not to, right? Oh, but that's when the old man disappears and appears up on the roof. The old man says the two are very brave. But what did they come here to do? Hunt for treasure in that abandoned house. He says it's curious. He never imagined he would find other non-humans on that deserted island. Our MC says okay, but why is his back turned? The old guy replies that the silhouette is important. Our MC doesn't really get it. How is this silhouette important? Well, without explanation, the old man turns around. But that's when Yichin says he remembered something. In the past, it was this old man who used to hold his hand. Not to waste too much time, T asks the psycho who he really is. The old man asks if he really wants to know. Making a big scene, he jumps off the roof and even lands on the ground in a hero pose. He says if the boy really wants to know, he'll have to fight him and win. T starts to get angry and even says that although his appearance is young, he is still a senior and the man needs to respect him. The boy is the legendary god of war of the Eastern Sea. The old man realizes the mess he's gotten himself into. However, he doesn't back down. The old man even tries to punch, but T dodges easily. Right after, he's behind the old man. The old guy comes back with a spin kick, but T manages to dodge again. He even taunts him, saying the crazy old guy is too slow. The old man says he's not liking this, the boy is arrogant. The old man tries a palm strike, but T dodges again, saying that now it's his time to attack, and he starts to go to town on the old man. The old guy says he doesn't mind getting hit, but not on the back, remember the silhouette. It has to stay perfect, man. But okay, the boy wasn't bad at all. He lives up to his reputation, but although his movements are agile, he lacks a bit of strength and his foundation is very unstable. The tiger says, "Excuse me, you really have the audacity to criticize me. Well then, you're about to meet my fists and my feet. So, am I lacking strength? Is my foundation not stable enough?" After getting beaten, the old man continues to smile, saying his attack pattern is very obvious. "And those nails, are they for tickling?" The tiger, already worried, asks, "Tickling, are you sure? Like, old man, you're already bleeding all over." The crazy old man continues to laugh like a maniac, but then falls to the ground, unable to stand. T tells the old guy to stop fooling around and reveal his true identity. The old man even tries to move his hand, but unfortunately he doesn't have much strength for it. He tries a little more, and a little more, oh man. And when he shows his middle finger, something strange rises. A totem emerges from the ground, throwing T away. The old man asks if the boy really wants to know his identity. He can find out, but he'll need to be prepared. The tiger gets up, complaining in pain. He says the old guy's abilities are not ordinary at all. But he also yells at the old man that he doesn't have time for games. If he's gonna mess around like this, then he's gonna get hit too. But the old man was already expecting that attack. Again, he activates that crazy ability, and another 30 totems come out of the ground. Luckily, T was already prepared. He realizes they're just wooden totems, but they're still annoying. Man, and that's when one comes up right under him. The kid couldn't keep his footing, while the old man is over there talking a mile a minute. Our MC asks if he is the god of the earth. The old guy says yes, he is. However, did he only just realize that now? He thought the kid had realized from the beginning. He's over there summoning wooden totems, doing all sorts of stuff. How was he not recognized before? Our MC says he does recognize him. He does, geez. He saw him when he was a child. The old man knew his mother, didn't he? The god of the earth replies yes. Grabbing our MC's head as if it were a ball, he says it's been a long time. He waited there for years, going to a more private location, a cave to be exact. The god says that first, our MC must greet his mother. Inside, the god says she's right there. It's kind of not what our MC was expecting, but what can you do, right? Instead of being his real mother, it was a memorial. The god tells the boy to light incense for his mother. Sometime later, the three are at the god of the earth's house. The old guy says no one needs to be shy. They can make themselves at home and rest as they please. Angry, T asks the old guy why he was so aggressive. He didn't even intend to take his life. The god looks indignant. Is he really asking about violence? The jerk completely wrecked his back. But anyway, the god of the earth is happy because he's been worried about our MC all this time. In fact, he can't even believe the boy has grown so much. For the last 10 years, his heart was adrift. Every day was like he was meditating in a dark cave. Unfortunately, he can't take a single step off the island. Yeah, really, with those weird things around, right? It wouldn't be very pleasant. But at least he's happy. He says that today he felt like he was returning to the light. Putting down that very feminine staff, our MC asks the true cause of his mother's passing. The old man asks Haichin how much he remembers of the past. Our MC says he remembers some things, some fragments. He remembers the day the god came to get him. But also that night there was a violent storm. And it was in that storm that his house was hit. Oh, and there was also a man. He was standing there in front of his house, watching in silence. Hearing this, the god says that in the end, it seems nothing has escaped the arrangement of fate. He tells Haichin to pay close attention. That's when we see a flashback of the god being asked to stop that man. Haichin's mother says no way, that man wants to become a dragon, and the worst part is he has the power to do it. If the god goes, there will probably be no chance of return. Besides, he still needs to protect Haichin. How would the god have the strength to do that and fight the man? He can't reverse the priorities of the two. Unfortunately, they have to make this choice. Of course, the god doesn't like it much, right? It's a difficult choice. Haichin's mother says the family has protected that jade pendant for generations. Maybe everything happened to lead to this day. That's when little Haichin appears. He immediately sees his mother is there, but the god of the earth is too. His mother calls out to him, saying she has a gift. The boy gets all excited, but his mother says that pendant is a protective amulet. From now on, it will be his, but that pendant will always protect him. And no matter the situation, he must never take it off. The little punk tells his mother that's not a cool gift. Isn't there another one? Trying to find another option, the god suggests awakening that fellow. However, Haichin's mother says if they awaken the tiger, he might be able to face him. But if they do that, they will be going against fate. So she asks that the god please do exactly as she says. Fate is unpredictable, but she believes this little punk will be able to fulfill his mission. Back in the present, Haichin asks the god of the earth, who is that guy who wants to become a dragon. The god says that is his mother's arch enemy. He is known by the name Jalong. In the next scene, we end up in a city alley. There we see someone running out of breath. Oh man, it's that snake man from the beginning. He's telling someone not to get closer. From that burst of fire, I think I know who it is. Hitting the little snake, the fox says he doesn't need to run, he just wants to talk a little. But his way of talking is very aggressive. The snake man tells the nine-tailed fox not to get any closer. But the fox asks the snake if he wasn't the one who awakened the tiger. If he was the one who awakened him, then he must know where he is. After that incident, the fox is explaining everything that happened to Kai. A long time ago, the bear tribe and the tiger tribe fought a fierce battle for this land. Kai Meiki says these things he's saying she's heard them in school. History classes told these mythologies when she was a child. The fox said that what she heard were just well-crafted stories. Behind them is the truth that you humans don't know. In that war, the tiger tribe advanced relentlessly, sweeping away everything in its path. All thanks to that tiger general, known as the god of war of the Eastern Sea. Kai Meiki is doubtful, the tiger tribe, but weren't the ones who came out victorious the bear tribe. The fox says exactly, but that happened for a reason. At the end of the war, the tiger simply disappeared. After that, the tiger tribe's situation worsened drastically, the tide of war turned, and in the end, the bear tribe claimed victory. Kai asks if the person they are looking for now is the tiger who disappeared back then. The fox says that's right. The Yak Gang broke the tiger's seal. Clearly, they intend to recruit him. He needs to stop them from doing that, but he can't guarantee that the tiger will side with him. Kai Meiki asks what will happen if the tiger chooses to side with the Yak Gang. The fox says in that case he will have no choice. The tiger will have to be turned to ashes. Kai tells the idiot to stop making fire at this time of night. Does he want to attract attention? Making fire for any little thing. But back on our island, we see T saying he waited for 5,000 years. Today is the day to settle the score. Oh man, he's fighting with a bear. But wait, with a bear. How is he fighting with the bear tribe if it no longer exists? Well, it must be a normal bear, right? But he's over there beating it up. However, after a little while he stopped. We see this crazy guy was beating on a wooden bear. Our MC feels a bit uncomfortable watching the whole scene, but that's when the god of war throws water on him and tells him to concentrate. Our MC doesn't really understand where that water is coming from, right? Wasn't he supposed to be meditating? The old man says that on that island, there's everything except a waterfall, so he found a way to improvise. The god continues telling the boy that he's probably already realized he's different from others. But it's not enough to just be different. You can be the best sword. If you're not forged, you'll be nothing more than scrap metal. The boy says he knows and is ready to face the path. Oh man, that's when the first day of training begins and our MC is already being dragged around. During the first week, he has to do 100 reps of deadlifts. The second week was kind of a bulking week. Whatever they found, they ate. In the third, they switched to meditation. Haichin was there. Haichin was there, trying to concentrate as much as possible. He knew he needed to completely transform the powers he had absorbed. But to control these powers freely, he needs a calm heart. That's when he remembers Sussy. Oh man, that's right, Sussy. I was so sure she'd pop up again at some point in the story. I even thought the tiger had rescued her when she fell way back when. But I guess not, she really goes splat. Fell like a sack of potatoes. I swear to you guys, I was holding out hope she was alive. But I'm only just remembering her now. Continuing, he remembers Yonghu, and also the Unicorn King. He was managing to make his painful memories peaceful. But then he remembered this scumbag who took his mother. The wretch at the time asked where the woman's ability was. If she doesn't have it, she'll burn and turn to ashes. The worst part is that our MC was there that day and he saw everything. He tried to rescue his mother, but it was too late. Since he couldn't pacify this thought, the boy's power is activated. T feels the difference immediately. But when he turns around, the kid is already gone. Let's just say his power didn't activate correctly. T asks what's happening to the kid, but the god explains that he's probably being counter-attacked by the guys he absorbed. The tiger asks if he's saying that the non-humans Haichin absorbed are controlling his mind. The god says that seems to be the case. The person before them is not Haichin. The god can feel that this person is incredibly furious right now. He even asks the tiger what the boy absorbed before. He definitely didn't absorb something good. The tiger says he absorbed a calm non-human before, but then a psycho. He just didn't imagine this non-human was so strong. But he can be strong, but not that strong. Calm down, my friend. No, never mind. The guy was that crazy. Our MC started jumping around like a monkey. The tiger starts to get scared and asks the old man to think of something. And what's more, the color of our MC's eyes started to look strange. The old man realized that there's definitely something wrong with the boy. Those eyes are not human. This is definitely not good. He is being devoured by the non-human inside him. If the boy can't wake up soon, this will be the end for him. The tiger is over there getting wrecked. He even wonders what the heck is inside Haichin. It's not possible that he's a mere human. How did he get such great strength? The old man grabs Haichin, saying that surely the tiger has heard of it. This is a divine ability, but it is only secretly passed down by the celestial maidens of the bear tribe. It allows one to absorb the power of deceased non-humans and take it for oneself. The person not only takes it, but also strengthens it. T says it's not possible. No, not Haichin. The god says yes, Haichin. He is the last remaining descendant of the bear tribe. They need to make the boy wake up on his own, free himself from this possession, or he will be completely finished. The tiger says before that he'll probably have already met his end at his hands. To not just take a beating, he fights back a little, right? He grabs our MC by the neck. What goes around comes around, my friend. Turnabout is fair play. The god asks Hichin if he can hear. He can't lose to this guy inside him. He needs to listen carefully to the voice within his heart. That's when we see our MC directly with his mother. He was there wondering who did this to her. Who is it that took her? His mother's spirit says that, unfortunately, life doesn't let anyone choose. She imagines that every time he fights against this cruel fate, he feels his mother's resentment. But, unfortunately, his mother can only watch with her arms crossed. She can only see him suffer without doing anything. Oh man, that's when our MC can't hold it in. He starts to cry, telling her he misses her so much. But that's when our boy breaks free. He makes a huge scene, right? But at least he breaks free. The god of war asks if the tiger saw that, didn't he? The boy is back to normal. That right there is the power that crossed 5,000 years, inherited directly from the bear tribe. But for us to understand more about that power, you guys already know what you have to do. You'll unfortunately have to leave a ton of likes and comments asking for part 2. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already so you don't miss the next videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm out.